Hey everyone, I'm going to walk you through how I set up my calendar for the new school year. You'll notice that I have a few different tabs open. I have my Veracross teacher portal, I have our all school calendar, I have my division weekly schedule so that I know what the week's going to look like, and I have a calendar that tells me when our flex days happen. Okay, so I'm going to start out by going to my calendar subscriptions. And what I'm going to do is subscribe to my teacher calendar. So again, I'm in the teacher portal, click calendar subscriptions. This is a critical step, subscribe using Google Calendar. And then under class schedules, I'm going to click subscribe. This launches Google Calendar and it prompts me to add a calendar. I'm going to click add. So now my next step is going to be to create the recurring event in my calendar. I'm going to start out by looking at my distance learning schedule. My class is a lower half of the block from 9:10 to 9:45. So I'm going to go over to my calendar. I'm on a Monday. Yeah, I know it's Labor Day, but it'll make sense in a second. I'm going to go to more options. And before I forget, I'm going to put in 9:10 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. And I'm going to do CS6 block A lower. And where it says does not repeat, well, it's going to repeat because I'm going to make it go to custom, and I'm going to choose Mondays and Thursdays because that's when my class will happen. And it's continue to do that until November 29th. That's the end of my trimester. I'm going to click done. And now I'm going to say use the Meet link in Google Classroom for our class meetings. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to add myself. Okay, so I'm added. And I'm just going to double check everything. Oh, missed a step. I need to add this to my Google Classroom. So for that calendar, and what I'm going to do is I have them all labeled here. So Computer Science 6, Block A lower, that's good. It's on the correct calendar. Again, I'm changing this and inviting myself. That way my students will be able to see it as well. So time, section, recurrence, we're good. Right calendar, message to students, myself invited, hit save, think happy thoughts, and it looks like it's populating. This is good. Okay, and I'm just going to double check. Yep, it's invited me. It's on the right calendar, so that should be set. Now you might notice that I've got my Veracross calendar on here and it doesn't quite match. Okay, oh, that's populating my personal calendar. That's good. So what I'm going to do is scooch this over a little bit and just change the day. I'm only editing that one date because that's the day we have school. That looks good. And now I'm going to do this for each week. So that looks good. There is a slight change in the calendar, so the times are a little bit off. I'm not worried about that for that part. The date is correct. This one, it looks like there's not a flex day in the middle of the week. So I'm going to make sure that the time is correct just for that event. I could also open it up and change it from the event itself. That looks good. That looks good. And I'm just going to keep going through and checking. Once you've got all of your blocks scheduled in for their day 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you'll want to go ahead and add your flex days. We know that how we use the flex days might vary a bit, but this way we know that we've got that time blocked off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. A couple of quick things to show you. First, if there's a time where you've scheduled a recurring event and that day isn't going to happen, or like, for example, my flex days, I got started on the 9th, but our flex days don't actually happen until later. What you do is click on that event, you hit delete, and then you only delete that one event and click OK. You do the same thing here, that one event. Okay, so eventually that'll disappear from my calendar where I'd invited myself. So if there's a flex day or something that's going to happen on another day, you're going to use the same method. So I'm just going to make believe that this is happening on a different day. If I take this and I want to drag it over here, what you would do is make sure you only do it for that one event. If you did it for this and following events, it would throw off the rest of your calendar, so you don't want to do that, okay? And then you would click OK. I'm not going to do that for this event, but I just wanted you to see how that would work. So once you've got that set, your calendar should be pretty set for the year. So if I go in and I hide this all classes or deselect it, I'll be able to see my classes are visible, okay? And I can also go in and do the same for my Computer Science 6, and I still see it. So right now, these are all like outlined, and the reason why that happens is because I've just invited myself and I haven't accepted. So I'm going to accept, and I'm going to do this in all following events. Actually, I'm going to do all events. That'll make it faster. And I'll do the same thing here. And I'm good to go. So I would do that for each of these and make sure they're set. I'll also do it on my flex days. All events. All events. There we go. All events. There. So now you can see it's filled in. And if I went back to my Google Classroom, which is the calendar that my students are going to see, they'll see it all populated as well. And if I turn my teaching calendar back on, it'll be pretty similar. So that way we've got it all set. We've got our calendars set up with our recurring events, and we're good to go. If you run into issues with this, please see me or see your Division Tech Coordinator. Your Division Administrative Assistant should be able to help as well. Thank you.